smart child? And why is she the smart child?
Because she is white.
Okay. Show me the dumb child. And why is she the dumb child?
Because she plays.
Well, show me the ugly child. And why is she the ugly child?
Because she plays.
Show me the good-looking child. And why is she the good-looking child?
Because she likes skating.
It's really, I think, important that we begin to understand how early in our life that begins to affect how we see our identity. I have a 4-year-old who, at 2 years of age, was really beginning to demonstrate to me how the images that she saw, whether it's on the Disney Channel or whether it's in a animation, how different she is from the images that are portrayed.
Raising my daughter, it is very different from raising my sons, especially since I'm not going to know, or I don't really know her battle. And the reason that I know that she has a battle now is because it has become evident. She does not like to be called Black. She doesn't even correlate like that. We're just lighter brown than she is, to be honest with you. I just never thought about it until I got her, because I can see it. I can see the difference. I can see when she is at a party, or we're at a center, or she's exposed to the playground, or she takes dance class. I can see the difference. I can see how they treat her differently. She may not feel it. She may not understand it, but I know it's there.
The impact that it has on those very, very young children spiritually is that they actually start to devalue themselves in such a way where the spirit begins to shrink.
The things I used to do because I hated my color was, I used to wish that I can wake up one day lighter, or wash my face and think that it will change or get lighter. I thought it was dirt, and I tried to clean it off, but it wouldn't come off. I took my color after my father, and I used to hate him because of it.
I think I remember most saying that, if I had a little girl, I didn't want her to be dark. I didn't want her to be dark like me.
It's not anything inherent in the human psyche to judge people based upon their skin color. There's nothing in our DNA that suggests one shade of color is superior or inferior to another, but it's all a politically and sociologically determined phenomena and attitude. So you have to be taught to discriminate based upon skin color.
I remember being called tar baby, monkey, gorilla, Magilla gorilla for sale.
Your skin is dirty.
Here comes Blackie. Here comes tar baby.
I was probably in about 2nd grade, and there was a boy, and he used to tease me all the time, just relentlessly for no reason. And my teacher, Mr. Lutchman, I asked him, "Why are you always bothering Hallie?" He said, "I don't like Hallie because she's too black and ugly."
I can remember being in the bathtub asking my mom to put bleach in the water so that my skin would be lighter and so that I could escape the feelings that I had about not being as beautiful, as acceptable, as lovable.
I remember one in particular, they used to say, "You stayed in the oven too long."
I just remember just looking down at myself, and I didn't think I was different, but obviously I was if so many other people were saying that. And I just thought, okay, then I guess I am black and I guess I'm ugly. And yeah, it still has a little twinge of hurt when I remember it.
When you think about it,
what could be more superficial than somebody's skin color? It's not their mind, it's not their heart, it's not how decent they are or how hardworking they are. And I think what happens is a person feels inferior, insecure, and in that, they want to find a way to feel better about themselves by putting somebody else down or looking down on somebody else.
Being in school, there was just such a separation among girls who were lighter skinned and girls who were darker skinned.
We were the girls who would catch them in the bathroom and fight them for no reason. You know, just because she happened to be born light-skinned with pretty hair or pretty eyes, I guess you would say that would be jealousy. And it was really bad because in junior high school, you know, the neat, the nair. For Halloween, some people I knew, wasn't me, threw balls of it in their hair just to take it out. So we were separated, and it caused a lot of friction amongst children, which now as an adult just seems stupid to me.
You know, our families aren't perfect. Our friends are not perfect. At some point, we have to acknowledge they are who they are. And they bring some good, and they bring some challenges. And so how do you discern when they're bringing good and embrace that? And then realize when they're bringing some stuff that's really not so healthy and say, you know what, I'm good. You can keep that, okay? You can keep that.
My mother and her friend, we were driving somewhere. She's talking to her friend and she's bragging on me. She said, my daughter is beautiful. She's got great eyelashes. She's got the cheekbones. She's got great lips. And then she's going on and she adds, could you imagine if she had any lightness in her skin at all? She'd be gorgeous. And just that last little part, just all that pride that I had about her, you know, having her brag on me, just dissipated. Just dissipated. And I think that moment is when I really became aware.
These are psychological forces that impede one's feeling the love that you have for yourself and for others. Again, and it comes from your parents. If they don't treat you with love, if you're not made to feel loved unconditionally, I love you just because you exist, not because of what you look like or how well you do academically or athletically, just because you exist. But if you haven't made to feel that love of self, you will be inhibited in terms of interacting with others.
I used to have a record store in Detroit, Michigan, and my grandmother actually would hire lighter-skinned blacks because she felt like darker, and I hate to admit this, but she felt like darker-skinned blacks made steal CDs and albums from her.
But you actually ran the record store, so was it your policy also to hire lighter-skinned people rather than darker-skinned people?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I didn't know what I was doing. You know, it was ingrained in me. I learned it from her. So, I mean, it wasn't like it was my fault. But yeah, absolutely. I did hire more of the light-skinned brothers than the dark because, honestly, the darker-skinned brothers did come in and steal from us.
You know, dark-skinned women, I don't really like dark-skinned women. Like, they look funny beside me. So, you know, I'd rather not date a dark-skinned woman.
You rather light-skinned girl?
Yeah, light-skinned pretty girl, long hair, don't care.
It's frightening that they have this kind of negative, critical attitude towards black females who aren't of light complexion or straight. It's the essence of the slave mentality, and nobody's in their home teaching them about this. And even athletes and movie stars who have the chance to say things, they're silent often in terms of this issue. So it's not clear how these young men's consciousness will be raised. It's frightening, but it's important that Black women don't become victims of thinking that if they don't look a certain way that they are inferior or less than. So you can't depend on a Black man liberating you from that.
I hit him hard, though.
I like all different colors. Well, she dark skin. She gotta have a nice body to me. That's just my personal. She gotta have it. He may like light skinned women. He may like light skinned women. He may like light skinned women. I may like dark skinned women. You know what I mean?
Dark skinned women are beautiful. Honestly, you know, I don't know what kind of composition came together to make that happen, but I guess the amount of melanin in your skin, you know, if you have a lot, you look good. You have a little bit, you look good. But I mean, I love dark-skinned women, you know, I can't lie. I cannot lie.
I feel like, you know, when you hug a dark-skinned woman, it feels better. Like the way your skin feels against them, it feels better. Light-skinned women, you have to give more of yourself and be somebody else sometimes with light-skinned women. You know, you gotta like perm your hair or something, or cherry curl it to get it with a light-skinned female.
Let's say, I'm gonna use a test for example. Given a test with a multiple choice, there's not really a wrong answer, but I prefer light-skinned women, always did. Most of the women from the South where I'm from are light-skinned. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. But with me, like I say, it's the person. Because you could, you know, be beautiful or whatever, light-skinned, but then if your character is not right, then I think and look at you different now just because of your character, and I assume they would do the same with me.
I remember going to school, like, in kindergarten, and my aunt, who was kind of like, you know, helping babysit me, said, okay, when you go to school, go there and find you a girlfriend that's light-skinned, long hair, and clean underwear. That was her advice to the 5-year-old me going off to kindergarten. And I thought it was funny, and I thought it was, you know, whatever. I was like, okay, I understood, I could see the light skin, I could understand, I could see the long hair. My whole thing was not the light skin part, but like, but how am I supposed to know that she's got clean underwear?
I feel like because, you know, I was dark-skinned myself, and, you know, for two dark-skinned, very dark-skinned people to get together, you know, it's kind of in society, it's almost a taboo sort of experience. It's taboo, you know, two dark-skinned people coming together, well, then the child is going to be dark-skinned. That's what the assumption is. So, you know, I don't know what it was. I think it was just my rage against the norm. You know, dark-skinned guy is supposed to be with a light-skinned girl. I just never believed in any of that.
I remember my uncle saying, if you caught me with my arms around a white woman, I'm holding it for the police.
Ideal for me, man, is dark skin. I'm a dark skinned brother. My daddy's dark skinned, my mama's dark skinned, and I want my kids to kind of look like me. So I want my kids to be dark skinned, and I want my woman to be dark skinned. Matter of fact, a woman is dark skinned. Honestly, a woman to me is a woman, first and foremost, for sure. But if I'm gonna sit there and be with them day in, day out and all that, I kind of want to have a little resemblance of myself, skin complexion and the whole whatnot, you know, so.
I went to Africa once, to Senegal, and they allowed me to come in and host the first Miss Black USA pageant ever held in Africa. It was like 3 years ago, and I'd never been to Africa. And I got there and I saw myself. I saw me walking all over the place, except, I mean black, I mean real black, blue black, double black. I ain't never seen black so black. It made ink look light. It was black, kind of black, you know, but fabulous. I was blown away by the beauty of this black skin. So I'm sometimes confused when I hear women who have really dark skin who tell their stories about how their hearts were broken when they were told they were ugly because they were black, because for me, it's about whether you accept it or not.
If I had a choice between a dark-skinned girl or a light-skinned girl, I would choose a light-skinned girl because I feel like a light-skinned girl is in between. You know what I mean? Like, if a girl is dark, then she's dark, and then you have a white girl. If a girl is white, she's white. But if you have a light-skinned girl, that's in between. I'd rather have one that's in between.
Some people maybe subconsciously who just like don't want to mess with dark-skinned women, maybe they feel like when they see a dark-skinned woman, they just like, there's nothing to her. Almost like maybe it's like, oh, she must be from Compton, or maybe she got attitude, or like certain stigmas that already are pegged with black women already inside of their own mind that maybe they don't even see when they're doing it.
I done dated all kind of women. You know, going through that, I see how certain women carry themselves. More, to me, more dark-colored women, they do have low self-esteem to a certain extent than light-skinned women. Because light-skinned women feel like they're more closest to white, so they feel they're special.
Have you been dated dark-skinned?
Nah. Yeah. I have.
And what happened?
She wasn't a nice person. I think it ain't too many dark-skinned girls that are nice.
Why do you think dark-skinned girls are not nice?
Like when you're a dark-skinned girl, I feel like you go through certain things a light-skinned girl or a white girl wouldn't. So and those things are bad. Like you might get clowned or something like that, and you might let that anger out on the wrong person, no matter who it is, because that's something somebody said or did to you because of your skin color.
A young black kid coming up in America is looking at maybe Tia and Tamara, the twins, that's super light or high yellow. And he's like, man, that's from him little coming up saying that white is clean, white is pure. Then when he gets older and of a man, then he starts to realize, even white men start to realize that dark ain't really what is the dirt, the bad, the dark night, the alley. That dark in a lot of cases is kind of good, kind of sweet, kind of tender. The darker the fruit gets, the more ripe, the more sweet it is. You know what I'm saying? So the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That's where the whole term comes from.
You are married to an African-American woman.
Yes, I'm married to an African-American woman. I remember distinctly a conversation I had with my father when I was in elementary school, where I went up to him one day. Of course, I didn't understand everything that has to deal with racism or race relations at that point in my life, but I did realize that I was attracted to, in more than a social way, women of all ethnicities. And I remember distinctly going to my father and saying, Dad, would you mind if I did marry a black woman one day? And his response to me was, as long as she looks good, I don't care what color she is.
If you ask me if it was like a conscious choice to pick a darker skinned woman versus like a lighter skinned woman, for me, not really. It wasn't an effort to go find the deepest, darkest chocolate sister out there and get the full-on, for real deal, straight from the motherland. And I didn't think that defined blackness to me. You're not more ethnic if you're darker. It's just, that's how to be who Joni was. But when you look at her, there was nothing about that color of her skin that defined her. And that's not for everybody's experience, but for her, it would define that way. So that's what I think was attracted to me, was that strength.
Brown skin, dark skin, whatever you want to call it, complexion I would more be attracted to that because, I don't know, it's like a natural color substance, something of their genes.
More pure.
It's pure, yeah. It just feels
more
and
organic.
Looks purified,
I'm a vegetarian.
Yeah, and I'm a veggie. So
another reason why I can't see myself with a light-skinned woman is because I want dark babies. I want my babies to look like pharaohs, or like queens, and they not going to look like that if they light skinned, just me, my opinion.